Okay, this is the new to us Prius 1.8 TTI. It's a hybrid vehicle. We picked it up yesterday. I haven't driven it yet. On the test drive I sat in the passenger's car because it's my partner's car for commuting to work. So I've never started it up. So I thought I'd do a drive with first impressions. I've read the quick start guide instruction manual. You'll notice this is a left-hand drive. We live here in Sweden. I'm originally from Wales and speak English, so I downloaded the English quick start guide for this model. This is the 2013 model Prius, the hybrid plug-in, and it was a late 2012 delivery to the 2013 specs, it's got lots of cup holders, including on the rear rest. There's another one here. So what I wanted to do was just see how intuitive it is after doing a bit of reading. Now, this is the key, which you don't need once you get this far, because you put your foot on the brake, press power, and we're good to go. That's it, the car is ready to go. So all I need to do is select reverse. There we are, engine going, seatbelt on, and the screen for the reversing camera has come up. Let's just check out the back, and back. It's a foot brake, not a handbrake. So that's that. I'll have to adjust that rear view mirror. And around we go. The battery charge level, obviously we haven't had it on charge overnight, and we want to be on EV hybrid drive, and away we go. There's the windscreen wipers, adjust my rear view mirror there, and off we go. So what we have is an onboard computer. This is showing the energy drive at the moment on the touch screen, and then there's the display for the dashboard up there, which has got various stuff. I mean, it's really the driving experience I wanted to do here. I'm going to drive into town, pick up a few things at the supermarket for breakfast. It's 8 o'clock, so it's a mixture of country roads and of motorway. I don't have to go on the motorway, we've got a closer supermarket than that, but just for the purposes of a test drive. Little readout there, which when you brake, it shows that the braking recharges the battery. It converts the braking energy into electricity rather than dissipating it as heat. And then next to that, there's a little readout which has eco in the middle. I don't know if you aim for the middle and try to keep it there. The way these hybrids work is it chooses between the electric motor drive or the petrol engine drive, and the petrol engine is very efficient. It works on a different combustion with the air intake. It's got what's called an Atkinson stroke. as opposed to the auto stroke, which is in most cars, and it allows for a longer stroke, which means that you have better burning efficiency in the combustion of the gasoline. Now, so this computer here is showing, as we go along, at the moment it's on red, now it's on green. Oh, that's green, it's charging because we're going downhill.
So, how does a hybrid system work? Basically, a hybrid aims to give you the best of both worlds. It combines the power and range of a conventional engine with the environmental benefits of an electric motor. At takeoff and at low speeds, the car will run on electric power only, which means zero fuel consumption and zero exhaust emissions. Under harder acceleration, the petrol engine kicks in and takes over the job of driving the wheels. It also sends power to a generator, which recharges the electric motor's batteries. In return, the electric motor gives the driver more power and torque while reducing fuel consumption. And the hybrid system has another trick up its sleeve. When the car is braking or coasting to a stop, the system captures kinetic energy from the turning wheels and the brakes. It converts that into electrical energy and channels it back into the battery pack, where it's stored for future use.
Then if I put on the gas, it's now using the petrol engine, which isn't as economical. So if I come off the gas, it's now running on electric, and because we're slightly downhill, that's actually now sending power back to the battery, so we've got a net gain of power to the car. There's a long cruise into town. We're doing 54 kilometers per hour on these country roads. We're not using any petrol at all at the moment, and the electric motor is actually gaining more power than it's using to drive the car at this point, which is why these cars are so economical. I don't know if that will come out there. I might be able to do that afterwards, but that's quite an interesting way of describing how these cars harvest energy. So here now, I'm coming into this hill. We're doing 47 kilometers per hour. It comes down to a 40 km through the little village here, and so this drag now into Yarnup, which is our local little village, I'm doing 44 kilometers per hour. It's a 40 limit, so if I drop down to 40, just braked a bit, and basically we're not using any fuel at 40 kilometers per hour, and we're recharging the battery, which will then be used to save on fuel going forward later as well. This goes up to 60 now for this stretch. Now we're past the little turn-offs into the residential areas. And here we go, we're still on battery. I'm in Hybrid Vehicle Eco mode. There's an Eco mode and then there's an EV City. Now, Eco mode is just all electric vehicle. EV City is one for where you have the engine knows that it's going to sometimes be kicking into its sort of stop-start motoring. So this is in the pure hybrid mode, and we're just up here now. I'm going to turn onto the motorway into Engleholm, which is our closest large town. In terms of drivability, there's for reversing, there's the reverse reversing camera. It's a split rear screen. You can see quite a lot. In fact, it's pretty good actually out of there. You can see a lot. Right, so I'm in automatic, so I don't need to change gear. My daughter told me about that before we came out. So there we are. And now we're going to turn left here onto the motorway. And here we go. To drive. There we are. So you can see here that we're using the electric motor is assisting the petrol engine to give it the grunt to accelerate here now. It's good for 0 to 60 in 11.1 seconds. The plug-in hybrid is a second slower to 60 than the pure hybrid. The payback for that is you get 15 miles as your range on the electric motor, and it actually delivers a higher overall miles per gallon fuel consumption as a result of that. This car has the lithium-ion battery pack as opposed to the nickel hydride battery pack in the other Prius models. Nickel hydride really can be described as first generation electric vehicle batteries. Lithium-ion actually give a higher density of energy, hence the longer range that you can get from lithium-ion. The lithium-ions, these batteries aren't reconditionable in the same way that the nickel metal hydride batteries are, but the cells can be replaced because it's a combination of lots of cells. It's not just one big battery, like a lead acid battery that you're used to in your normal car. That's just one big cell, and it has the lead plates and the sulfuric acid in the middle, which acts as the electrolyte to let the current flow from the cathode to the anode, negative to positive. With the lithium-ion chemistry, it's slightly different to the nickel metal hydride chemistry, but it delivers a higher degree of power and range. Teslas, for instance, use lithium-ion, and whilst the metal hydrides are more, they were actually patented in 1967 apparently, and so they've been around for a long time, and so they're kind of old, tried and trusted technology. The power to weight ratio effectively of lithium-ion is more promising. There are lots of other types of fuel cell technology, and what happens in the future, one doesn't know. But the future is here already, and I'm sat in it. This is there's very little engine noise with this car. The road noise. This is a tarmac. It's not a rough tarmac, but it's that bigger tarmac, not a smooth tarmac. This was resurfaced, this road, in the last couple of years. So we're doing 104 kilometers per hour. We're on the wrong side of economy for this. 105. I'll do 120 on the way back. What we'll do is, so you can see now, it's actually running on the motor, but and sending some power back to the battery at this point. Depends whether you're accelerating or decelerating. You can drive these cars carefully and return 135 miles per gallon. I'm nerdy enough to actually try and do that. But for general driving, this was a company car before it came to us yesterday, and it's done 166,000 kilometres. I mean, that's 100,000 miles in 4 years. So it's a 25,000 mile a year car, and across the whole of its life, it has returned, I think it was 4.6 kilometres to the litre, compared to our 1.6 16 valve Golf Combi, shooting brake we used to call them in England, which does 0.9 kilometres to the litre. So this car is twice as efficient in what I would call sales rep mode, which is pedal to the metal and not really paying any attention to driving optimally. To drive for optimal fuel consumption, you can get that down. You know, you can do in theory 135 kilometres per gallon. Probably just nip back to Yarn up and go to the local supermarket to pick up some rolls and some bacon for our breakfast, and to pick myself up a packet of cigarettes, and let's enjoy the drive. What we might do actually is see if let's do a stint in pure electric driving for our other cars are actually manual, and this is an automatic, and I haven't driven an automatic for a while, so I kind of keep thinking, oh, clutch and what have you, but of course you don't need to. In a way that's quite nice, because the engine will work it out, and the best thing to do driving one of these is to think in terms of they say this in the tips, in looking at the road ahead and driving as smoothly as you can into the conditions that are coming up. So for instance here, if I'm coming up to the roundabout, and so if I slow down as I approach the roundabout, if I use the brakes, then if you use them gently to get there, you'll actually harvest more of the energy back into the battery pack, and so you of course, you know, concentrating on not bumping into other things is the prime thing you can do in terms of preservation of self, and you know, not trashing stuff. But you know, these other considerations of if you drive smoothly, you will increase your fuel economy. Right, now we should be able to just go eco mode, which we are now in. We're now in eco mode, so we're now driving purely as an electric car. So this is using no petrol whatsoever. The electric motor is driving us. We're driving in town, so that's what you want to be doing. So this is zero emissions motoring, which we can do for 15 miles in this car. Let's get the camera there. Hopefully that will pick up that we're in eco mode. Come up there saying eco mode. On the computer readout here, it's all battery driven. Oh, there we are. That gave me a bit of engine power then. So it knows that it will switch back to the other one if the battery charge isn't sufficient, or if it needs some more grunt to listen to what you're telling the throttle to do in terms of accelerating away. folks, there's a B thing which we were wondering about yesterday. Well, I found out what that is. What B is engine braking. So if you are driving down a big hill, or you want to use engine braking to kind of, you'd flick it into B, which is down back here, and it will brake on the engine, which saves obviously wear on the brakes, and I don't know, I guess it must have fuel economy scripts or routines that it can run on that mode to maximise harvesting energy for for goodness sake, where are we? Right, we're in eco mode. It's interesting that occasionally it still employs some of the engine. Actually, even on not particularly hard acceleration either. But I do know here we're purely on electric motor. No, not there, we're not. Okay, that's interesting. This is a bit of a hill, and it's decided its best option is to use a little bit of the engine. There we are, stopped again now. And what was interesting, that on the eco thing, when we were just cruising along on the electric motor, it was bang in the middle of the eco thing, so I guess that is optimal. So here we go, we'll just drive through town here, which I have no trouble doing this bit purely on the electric motor, of course. Over the last stretch of this, the last 5 minutes, we have been purely on the electric motor, but for 2 bursts when it decided, with that little bit of hill, or when I accelerated a little bit, for whatever reason it decided to put in a bit of petrol power. So there we are, this is Inglehome, our latest town. It's celebrating its 500th year anniversary, which is why in the town square over there there's a great big stage. There's been all sorts of events going on all summer. Just over there. So really, this is not ideal, this camera setup, I think. It's a good job. It's nice that it's an automatic, really, because you can do this kind of shit much easier. Right, I think we'll leave that on. For town driving, it's can you imagine if all the cars in a busy town like London, or all the cars sort of on that biggest car park in the world, the M25, were running on hybrid engines, there would be a hell of a lot less exhaust fumes, regardless what your view is on carbon dioxide. Exhaust fumes, carbon monoxide is actually poisonous. I mean, carbon monoxide will kill you, and so smog in cities like Japan, you can actually die from breathing the air on particularly bad days of traffic pollution in cities. Now, that's because actual exhaust fumes are carbon monoxide, so forget about the carbon dioxide and whatever your views are on that. It's an indisputable fact that carbon monoxide, which comes out of exhaust tailpipes, when it combines with oxygen it becomes carbon dioxide, which is the greenhouse gas question. But monoxide kills you, and it does. Carbon monoxide is a pollutant, or certainly it is a poisonous gas which kills human beings and other oxygen breathing mammals. So it's not just us it affects the it's poisonous and it's not very pleasant. So of course electric motors in cities would be a very, very good thing, and hybrids kind of answer both those questions, because all the time that I've just been going on there, probably annoying loads of people, kind of one lot thinking, oh, what does he mean, the CO2 question? Is there a question? And you know, the other lot thinking, huh, CO2, what's he on about, and all this sort of thing. Well, I'll leave you guessing on what my views are on that or not, and just ask you to concentrate on the carbon monoxide question, which we should all be able to agree is in fact poisonous, and comes out of an exhaust pipe. And you know, as I say, the point that I'm making is that in a hybrid vehicle, which does have emissions, but when they're in town, and because most commute journeys are less than 15 kilometres and in urban areas, or 15 miles rather, and in urban areas, with a car such as this, and this technology is in a whole range of cars, from ultra sporty, like the Tesla, which is an out and out electric car, to the Golf GTE, I was looking at one of those the other day, to the Volvo V60 plug-in hybrid, which you can actually have it's a combi of a diesel, and that has just the most amazing fuel economy. And the Priuses, they have this in Camry, the Toyota Camry, it's in the Avensis, it's in the smaller cars, the Aris, it's in, what else is it in? Various Hondas, all the manufacturers.
Realize, can we learn our dreams? Can we live outside in life's energy stream?